Hit record. Good morning, everybody. Happy Friday. I have been looking forward to this webinar and today for a really long time. It's actually James and I's first wedding anniversary. So from like the day I booked this session in, I was really excited for it to come, and the day is finally here. Thank you so much for joining us on this very sunny Friday morning. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Rachel. I'm the founder of Accountant She. These sessions are completely free community webinars. Through taking on 700 clients and self-employed people and my journey as well, I think loneliness is a really big deal for lots of self-employed people. And so every single month we host 2 completely free community webinars. One is run by me, and that's a deep dive into your finances every single month. And then one is hosted by our clients for our clients. And so today I'm joined by the amazing Petra Gatto. And through the course of today, she's going to hold your hand and walk and talk you through the power of building your personal brand. Again, we were literally just having a chat before we let you guys into the Zoom room about how all of this comes down to like confidence. And I think very often, specifically female business owners, this is something that a lot of us struggle with. Petra is going to deliver. Like, I am so excited for this session because personal branding is so much a part of what I do. I'm so excited. And so through the course of today, she's going to walk and talk us through exactly how you can embrace power within your personal brand. Through the course of today, and as a follow-up, every single person that's here will be invited to have a completely free 30-minute session with Petra to run through personal branding and answer any extra questions that you've got. She's also got some really amazing freebies for us as well. And so you'll also get a checklist of how to build and write an About Me page that converts. For me, an About Me page is like my worst nightmare. So really excited for that one. And then you'll also get a really great resources on how to build a brand. As we go throughout the session today, please do use the chat box to fire some questions. We're going to have a really open Q&A session. And so the webinar is going to run from 9:30 till roughly 10:30. We're not super precious on timing. So we're going to go for an hour. And then afterwards, we will pause the recording. And then we'll just get stuck into some networking. And so this is a really great opportunity to make some friends, to have a further debrief of everything that we've spoken about today. And spoiler alert, because I think people would really appreciate an hour's notice, I'm going to ask this question. Within the networking, we always host these on Fridays. And so I will be asking you what went well for you this week. I think it's a really lovely way to end your week. And actually, very often, as self-employed people, it's easy to focus on the opposite. And so this is me officially giving you an hour's notice that I will be asking you what went well for you this week if you'd like to stay on for some networking afterwards. So do use the chat. Let us know that you're enjoying it. The very best way to say thank you to us for hosting these webinars completely free of charge, and Petra is donating her time, is to talk about this, share about it on social media. You can start building your personal brand today by sharing on social media that you are here with us today. Tag Petra, tag me, and it's a really great way to spread the word for the future webinars and say thank you. So without further ado, I'm going to pass over to Petra.
Thank you, and good morning, everyone. Thank you very much, Rachel, for having me. I'm excited to speak today about the power of your personal brand. So as Rachel said, we will have 30-35 minutes. Write it in the chat if you have questions, and I will be happy to answer it afterwards. So before I share what I prepared in the presentation, let me just talk briefly about myself. My name is Petra Gatto. I am personal brand mentor and brand photographer. I am on a mission to support founders and small business owners like you to amplify their message, to amplify their purpose, and show up with intention. I combine my formal marketing degree with 10 years of experience in the corporate, in the marketing and advertising, working for big brands like BMW, Pepsi, Mini Cooper, with nearly 20 years of being entrepreneur. So that's how are my skills to combine to teach others how to build their brand foundation so they show up with intention, they be more visible, they create more impact and success. So that's briefly about me, but today we're gonna speak about personal branding and the story, your personal brand story, why you got to this place, why you founded your business. It's a big part of your personal brand. So for the start, let me share my own personal story. how I got here, and yeah, why I founded my second business. So I used to be passionate about photography. Photography was my big passion as a teenager, as a young adult. But then I went more the practical way, as my parents would say, marketing and business. I work in advertising, as I said. And then I founded my first business, which was destination weddings in Prague, where I'm from, Czech Republic. It was 19 years ago, one of the first agency, very rapidly growing, successful, bringing foreigners to get married in Central Europe. So from the outside, I was living like amazing jet set life, flying around Europe. I had small children, so life got really busy. And as you can imagine, I think they are mainly women, so I can say us women, we carry a lot of hats. I was getting me to the burnout really, and that year when I was thinking to kind of stop, I was diagnosed with aggressive type of cancer. So that made me really stop and reset everything and think what really matters. And part of the therapy, I took my camera again after like 16 years, I didn't touch it, and started taking photos of other female cancer survivors, but also of entrepreneurs, because I had a lot of entrepreneurs in my area. And they had one thing in common. They all had a successful businesses, they had a successful career, but somehow they didn't want to put themselves out there. They didn't want to take the center of attention. And that moment, I kind of found my purpose. I said, okay, well, that's it. I need to help these women. I need to help them how to be more visible and amplify their purpose. And that's why I founded my second business and combined the skills of marketing, branding, and photography to empower other women to take place in the spotlight with a confidence. So that's my story for the beginning, but let's get started with the personal branding. Sorry. I went all the way to the back. What happened before? I don't know how it happened. Sorry. Bear with me. I think I did this. Okay. So. Yes. So what I prepared today, I'm going to talk about personal branding, what it is, why is it important. I give you the 5 elements that successful personal brand should have. And then a framework, like a 3 steps, how you can start building your personal brand. And then I will share the bonuses. So let me get started. I hope it's going to work. Yes. So what is a brand? You're going to speak about personal brand, but let's back off and say, what is a brand? I often ask these questions in my webinar or workshops, and they might be quiet a little bit, and then people say, it's a logo, it's the strapline, it's the tagline, it's the corporate identity, the colors, the visuals, the website. That's all correct. That's like symbol, what creates the brand. But brand really is, there are many definitions you can find. I like to use this one. It's the emotional connection, it's target audience. So it's the feel. Brand is the feel, it's the emotions. So I can give you an example. For example, Nike, a brand Nike. The essence, they feel, their brand is powerful. Whatever you interact, however you interact with the brand, they make you feel powerful. You can do it. Even the claim, just do it. If you go to the store, the big one in Oxford Circuit, it's a loud music, and they make you feel like, okay, if you buy this product, you feel powerful. You can hit the gym again and do that. So that's their brand essence. Or Disney, it's magic. Everything is magic. If you interact with Disneyland, Disney World, merchandise, films, anything, they brand essence as that they want you to feel magic. So brand is really acting from the heart space rather than your head space. Another example for us women, if we go and buy a new pair of shoes, we don't really need them, but they're on sale, and that's our favorite brand. So we buy it, and kind of we justify with our head later because we acted from the heart space. So that's important to remember. The brand is about feeling, okay? How the brand makes you feel if you interact with that. The You might heard this quote from Jeff Bezos, the founder of Amazon. Your personal brand is what people say about you, but you are not in the room. Yes, that's about the personal brand, but I would like to tweak it a little bit, because I feel the personal brand is less about you, but it's more about them, about your customers, about the clients, about other people, how they feel about you. So it's less about how they feel about you. It's more about how they feel about themselves, how they resonate with you, how you make them feel, basically. So it's tweaked a little bit. It's about them. Why is a personal brand important? Well, that distinguishes you. It sets you apart from others. You're all unique. And it also helps you to connect, to create the human connection. People buy from people. I don't know if you notice, for example, sometimes you look at Instagram and they are great small business, they have a nice products, but you don't really know who is behind the brand, and you would like to know, because again, humans connect with humans. So that's why it's important as your face, as your founder, as your business owner, to show up and be visible with your message. You all have a message to share. And that's why I want to show you today how to define your brand and to be confident and show up and speak, amplify your message, your why, your story, your passion, what it gets you to this point. This is another beautiful quote from Maya Angelou. I have learned that people will forget what you said, people will forget what you did, but people will never forget how you made them feel. And that's so true. It goes with personal branding very well, because we often like scared about, okay, well, we make mistake when we do the post. They might be, you know, it could be said a little bit better, or what we say when we go speak in the event, if we do a networking, but it doesn't matter. People forget about that. They forget about any little mistakes or something. It's just important how you made them feel. It's about the feeling, yeah? So it's about the heart space, really. It's about branding. It's about personal brand. And you are all very unique, and you are all have a brand to shine. So let's look at it, how we can build it. My question for the before I go to another chapter to you is, how do you want people feel after they working with you, after they network with you? So, for example, my brand essence is confidence, because I help people build their personal brand. I deliver brand photography, and the brand photography is showcasing them how they really are. Of course, the best version of themselves is the makeup and that, if they choose to. But I make them feel confident. That's my brand essence. Empower them, show up with the confidence. You might have a different one. Depends. It can be inspiring. It could be motivating. Anything, you know. It's just like to think about it. How do you want people to feel after they work with you? And that's a good question to explore later. We can maybe have a discussion later about it. Okay, so there are 5 elements what each successful personal brand should have, and I will walk you through the 5 elements to help you define your brand. So the first one is the authenticity. Well, authenticity is the key, is the assets, is the strongest differentiation, right? No one is like you. You are unique. You need to be yourself. I had once a client come to me, not a client, someone come to me and said, oh, I need you to create my brand, and I want to appeal to this target audience, and I want to come across as very fun and extroverted. And the person in real life was kind of introverted and not funny at all, you know. So it doesn't work. Personal brand is you, right? And if you are extrovert, great. If you are introvert, great. You know, we don't need to be all extroverted to kind of stand with confidence and show up our face. Excuse me. So we don't create a brand. We build a brand. We define a brand, because it's us. We're not creating us. we defining how we want to show up. Yeah. So authenticity, one of the 3 core main values we can talk is the transparency, vulnerability, and integrity. Well, vulnerability is just to a certain extent. Of course, we're not going to say everything what happened in our life and share all the details. Like I just shared my story with cancer. It took me some time before I was, like kind of okay to share my story. I don't share any more details about my cancer journey. I just share that I had it. And that's it. I choose to just this angle to share. And there's no need to share everything about your life or the story. It's just maybe a little bit, because if we just connected, we are all human and things happen, right? We make mistakes. There's a lot of stuff happening in our life and people relate to that. So the authenticity is very key part of the personal brand. Storytelling. I mentioned it in the front at the beginning. Storytelling is such a big part of personal brand. There's a study that if we say story, our brain just activates and kind of get the story. They can listen to the story. We remember stories like kids, right? They love stories. So it's like a golden rule of personal brand. Tell a story, how you got to this place, why you do what you do, why you're launching this new product, why you're doing this service, why you inspired. It's just like, tell us a story. We want to know. People love stories. So it's a very key element of building your personal brand. What are the values? What shapes you to get to this place? The another element is consistency. So you probably agree with me that all successful brands, even big brands, small brands, they have been consistent, and that's what is key. The personal brand building doesn't happen overnight. It's a long term, and you need to be consistent with your message. The same goes with, I'm a photographer, so we can open a conversation later. How often you change your profile picture, for example? Some people don't change it for 10 years, and then you come across, you meet them, you see them on LinkedIn or Instagram, and then you meet them in the real life. Honestly, it happened to me recently. I met a woman who I was in touch with LinkedIn, and I passed her by. It was so embarrassing. She called me. I didn't recognize her because she looked completely different. She was like 10 years, honestly, or maybe more, 15 or 20. I don't know. It was so embarrassing. But then she kind of admitted that she needed new photos. Okay, but you really need to be, say, every 2 years to update your picture, to kind of have it updated photo. And also I would recommend to be consistent. Okay, if you have one profile picture that you love, have it on your LinkedIn, have it on Facebook, have it on Instagram, on all your social media that people come across, because maybe you connect on Instagram or on LinkedIn and you take them to another channel or you take them to your website. They all should be same, because you should not be asking yourself, oh, is that really the person I want to connect with? It looks completely different than on the other platform. So yes, consistency. It's a very important part of a personal brand. Another one is the expertise, right? It's okay, we talk about the authenticity, about the storytelling, about the consistency. It's something that gets the foot in the door. But of course, expertise is something that will make you stay, will just create the excitement that people want to listen to you because you have a message to share, you have your expertise to share. And yeah, you can showcase it as, through socials, so networking, participating in online communities, but the expertise, of course, it's an important part of your brand. Share your expertise. And the fifth one, can you guess which one would it be? Well, I guess maybe if we give it a few more minutes, is visibility, right? It's something that most people are kind of hesitating, if I say, with visibility. But visibility is key. People need to find you. You can't hide and expect people to find you. We often think that everybody knows around us what we do, but they don't. So it's better to keep telling them, to reminding them, okay, hi, we are here. This is what we do. This is what's our passion. This is our message. This is our new service. That's our new product. Why we found this new product, why we launched this service. Show your face and be visible on the socials, attend the networks, find the way, we will speak about the framework, find the way that suits you, right? Where you want to show up. You can volunteer your time, stronger, more you be visible, stronger your personal brand will be. Yeah. And of course, if you have a great pictures, you can be more visible. It helps, or you can just learn a few practices, and I will give you the framework, and it will make you more confident to show up and be visible. Okay, so just to recap, it's the authenticity, storytelling, consistency, expertise, and visibility. It's very, very important. Yeah, the visibility. And at the end of this chapter, I want to say something that often comes up, which of when we speak about personal brand and why we sometimes kind of hesitant to build the brand. People are afraid that they lose their privacy, but you can be personal yet private. And my favorite, what I say all the time, is just understand that personal brand is yours. It's yours. It's you set up the boundaries. You decide what you're going to share. If you don't want to share anything about your family, anything about, how many children, if you have a partner or not, where you go for holidays, you don't have to. It's a private. You just keep it private. You decide what certain extent of your personal brand you want to show. I have been showing up quite consistently lately, and still to this moment, some people ask me that they think that I only have one child, because the second one I don't really show, because he's too young to decide if he wants to be seen, and if they are not part of my brand, so I don't really show them, because I just keep their privacy, and that's my decision. Yeah, it's, again, like I said, it's my story. I only decide to a certain extent what story I will share. So do not be afraid to build your brand, because you can decide what and how you will show up. Yeah, so it's all in your hands. You have a control. So that's my second part, and we get to the third part, which is how, really, what's the question, how you build your personal brand. You get a sip of water and speak, and we get to this exciting part. Okay, this is a very important slide. It's just an overview. I will speak about each step in a minute, but to explain what is the often mistake when people build a brand. So they decide to say, okay, well, I want to be more visible. I want to put myself out there. I'm going to show up, LinkedIn, Instagram, I will be networking. And they are maybe a little bit, you might be a bit kind of not confident to do it, but you just want to force yourself, you want to do it. And then you rush to the third point, like say, okay, how I'm going to show up? Am I going to be on LinkedIn or Instagram? And you just think about the marketing, right? But that's not the right process. The process is really to back up and start with the brand foundation, okay? You need to know who you are, what are your values, what is the vision, what's your why, what's the story, what's the mission, what are your beliefs, why you do what you do, okay? So the brand foundation is so key to explore and define first. Then you move to the second step, which is the audience. You really need to kind of explore what is the audience that you want to make impact on. You want to target it. You want to reach out, building your personal brand. What are their pain points? What are their needs? You really need to clarify your message in that stage. And then is the third stage, which is the marketing. That one that everybody rushed and feel like, okay, I'm ready to do it. And they kind of skip the first two processes, and it doesn't work. It's just you hit the wall, really. Because it can just work a little bit, but not fully. So I suggest take it step by step and you will shine in the end. So let me talk about each step. So first is the brand foundation. Always start with your why you do what you do, right? Simon Sinek says, people don't buy what you do, they buy why you do it. And it's so true. If you haven't read the book, Start With Your Why, it's an excellent book from Simon Sinek. I recommend it. He speaks about the golden circle. There is the golden circle. There is the what. Often people tell us like what they do, who they are, what they do. Sometimes they tell us how, like how they do it, but they don't tell us why. That's the inside of the circle. That's what we want to know, why they do it. So start with your why. That's like your first step, building a personal brand. What is your why? Then you move to values, and there's a lot of exercise I do with my clients and the workshops. You come to your values. If you haven't done it, I can just recommend to look at, if you want, I can send you some values, you can look at it, choose like 10, 20 they resonate with you. Then you come down to 5, or 10, you mark them from 1 to 10, or who gets the highest mark. That's something that could be your value. You kind of need to sit with it. It doesn't come easily to create your values. And it's also advisable to have your brand values of your brand, of your company, your personal brand. And when it's kind of overlap, that's the strong values that you can communicate. Because again, people like to know, what are your values, what you stand for. You can put it on your website, you can share it on socials. People can connect with that. Maybe they don't need your services yet, but they connect with your values. Then it's your vision. Well, vision is the long term, right? It's your legacy, what you want to leave here with the world, like how you want to change the world. What is your vision? So, for example, my vision is I want the world where women feel confident to take confident action towards their dreams, how to be visible and to follow their dreams, really. So that's my vision. And then you have a mission, and that's something that you help. Mission that what you like to happen next. So how you get to your vision. And the mission can change, can be every year something a little bit different. You might have a different tools, how you get to your vision. So don't stress about it. Your mission might be changed. Even the big brands are changing their vision, their mission, but the vision is usually that stays the same. That's your goal. That's your legacy that you like to make a difference, basically. Another big part of the brand foundation is the story. What makes you unique? What story you want to share with the world? There is often an external version, but what is the internal version? Like, what is the true story that you want people to know, you are happy to share and communicate? See, I always say, don't disregard any crisis stories. It doesn't have to be a story like mine, hopefully, but it can be something that shaped you to come to this moment. Maybe you moved countries, or you didn't get to the school that you wanted, or you broke up with your partner, or something that in that moment, it looks like really like a crisis. You wouldn't like to share it in the moment, but over a time, it really helped you to get to the point why you founded your first, second, doesn't matter, whatever business that you like to talk about. It's great to own your story. So that's something that the brand foundation takes time, because it's not easy to discover that and be happy, like what you're going to say, what you're going to share with the world. And of course you add to that, but basic story is good to define. Yeah, the difference between you and another person is you. No one really has the skills. So no one can be you. I just had a recent, like, I do teach brand photography in Czech as well, my home country. And somebody just asked me a question lately. They said, oh gosh, you teaching brand photography, it's such a small market. Don't you afraid that people will copy you? They copy like your style and your process and everything, and they just be like you. It's like, no, I'm not afraid at all. I mean, no one is like me. I got different background. I have different approach than other person, I'm sure. So yeah, if they copy my style, I'm sure there's a tweak. They can have the same pictures that you have been seeing today, but do they have the same everything, the personal brand? No. So we are all very different. So it is, I know Rachel also teaching another accountant, right? So they're all different. They are all special. They are all have the story, something that they can share with the world, they why, and it's all different, and they attract different people. So it's okay. There is a space for everyone. Yeah, so when you do the brand foundation, think about your strengths, about your capabilities. And then if you're feeling like kind of stuck, like, oh, what are my capabilities and strengths? Not the usual, like, reliable and all that expected of a brand, of a business owner. Ask your friends, ask people around. Just read, I think, who was that? Simon Sinek, maybe he said that. I'm not sure. I think he did. If you are stuck, call your friends 3 o'clock in the morning, somebody who would pick up, and ask them, like, why you are friends with me, you know, what you like about me. They think they are totally crazy. Why are you calling them? They say like, okay, yeah, you're fine, you know, that's, and then they keep telling you some, you know, classic like skills, but then they tweak it towards them. They start telling you how you make them feel, like why they're friends with you. I just had this conversation lately with my friends, and I was amazed. I was like, okay, let's play this. And then they said, oh, you know, you made us feel like empowered and all that, what I'm trying to do with my personal brand. So it was very emotional, but it's great. You know, if you get stuck, ask your friends, ask them, what are your skills? What are you, why they're friends with you? You know, what they love about you. So that's also a good way how you can explore your personal brand. Second step, so you have done the brand foundation, it's your audience. So defining your audience, who are you talking to? You never appeal to everyone, and that's okay, right? We are not for everyone, and that doesn't matter, because we are only for the people. They are kind of help us to meet our mission and meet our vision. So we are really only for the audience that we specify. We need to know their pain points, what are their needs, and we need to clarify our message. One very important thing I would like to know, say and stress, it's you are not a guide, you are the hero. Because your customers, your clients, they are not looking for another hero. They are the hero, right? They're looking for a guide that help them to solve the problem. It's like with the personal brand. We have the expertise, you have the story. If somebody's going to listen to you, it's not because they're looking for another hero. Us as customers, clients, we want to feel as a heroes, right? So here's goes a little bit to branding, but I think it's relevant to share. Again, another beautiful book from Donald Miller is Building a Story Brand book. He gives this formula. If you look at any Hollywood movie, it's pretty much follow this formula, that there is a character, there's a hero, there's a customer, he has a problem, he needs a guide, you, He gives them the plan, calls the action. He shows them what it would be if, he helps them to avoid the failure, and it ends in success. So it's like a 7 steps. When we say we build a brand, then you can look at it with a story. It can have this kind of storytelling concept. But if you looking in your audience, that was our second part, ask, who is your customer? What are their problem? What problem you are helping them to solve with your message? What will their life look after they work with you? I think this is very important because, again, people just say often what they do, great, but what is the transformation? So part of the freebie I'm giving you at the end is to have a tool, a guideline, how to write about me page from a guide, not from a hero. Yeah, because we are not looking for another hero. We want to look. We want to find another guide, because often you see people, they have a great business, and you go to the about me page, and only what you learn is like, okay, they had this job, then they had that job, they found the business, great, and they have all these awards and all these impressive studies that they did. But what's there for you, right? So you always write it in the mind of your client, of your customer, because again, you are the guide, not a hero. And the third one is the one that everybody knows and they are always rushing to, is the marketing strategy. How you're going to show up. What are your content pillars? Because people like resonate, not maybe just with the expertise that you share, but also with your personality. So what are the other aspects that you want to talk about? For example, I do personal branding and photography, but I do speak about self-care because it's a big part and a big problem and pain point of my target audience, which is females, entrepreneurs and business owners. I speak about empowerment, about connection, inspiration. So what are the other content pillars you want to talk about? And you define a social media strategy, like just choose one channel and just stick to that for the beginning. You don't need to go, you don't have to stress to be everywhere, really. And do not go to places they are not really, like, you don't feel that's good. Like I had one client and she said she's always very stressed on Monday because on Monday she is posting on TikTok. It's like, why she's posting on TikTok? She didn't look like a person who would be hanging on a TikTok. And she said, yeah, but everyone is on TikTok. I need to be there. Well, if you don't like TikTok, probably your target audience, it's not going to be on TikTok, so it's just, don't waste time. Just really do what feels good for you, but also where is your audience. It will probably connect, but just choose one channel for the start. Okay, so we're coming to the end. My question is, are you ready to be more visible to your ideal audience, ideal clients, for more alignment, more impact, and more success? Please define your personal brand, or the world will do it for you. And I think this is so powerful because it's so true. If we don't define it, we all have a personal brand, whether we want it or not. The world will do it for us, maybe not the way we want to. And that would be a pity, right? So you all have a great businesses and great purpose and all that. Yes, share it please with the world. Show up. Keep in touch. Here are my contacts. You can connect with me. I'm most active on Instagram. Just somehow visually, it's better format for me. But yes, on LinkedIn, you can reach out as well. You can go to my website. And if you have some questions that you may be not comfortable to ask now, just get in touch later. As I said, I will open my Calendly, send you a link. You can just book 30 minutes call. I don't expect you to become a client. It's part of the community. I'm passionate as well, like kind of give back. So if you have a question, please do ask and reach out. If you want to work with me, yes, I do one-to-one brand mentoring. So help you to really craft your personal brand, help you with the business, to elevate the business basically on the next level. If you like to do a brand photography, I've just seen a glimpse of some of my clients that I took. I am based in London, but I do travel around UK, or I've been just recently in France or Austria. So it's not a problem to travel elsewhere. So please do keep in touch. And if you have any like aha moments or something that you like from the presentations, please do share it on social, tag me, tag Rachel, and I will reshare it. And again, start with your branding, helping build your personal brand and with your visibility. We can start today. So here's just one last slide. Just said free consultation. There's a guide how to write an about me page to core words. Please download it. It's great. And then again, if you like to have like 5 key questions maybe for the weekend, how to uncover your personal brand, there's another download, or we will share it on Monday anyway. So Monday you can share it next week. Please grab that as well. So I will stop sharing my screen and back to Rachel and the chat. Thank you very much for your attention.
Amazing. Thank you so much. Alrighty. So Petra has very generously offered to just answer any questions that anybody's got. If anybody is feeling inspired through personal branding and wants to take themselves off no camera to ask their question, we would love to see who we're chatting to, or you're very, very welcome to use the chat. If you'd like to ask a question anonymously, you can head into the chat and just change the everybody to me, and that question will come direct to me. If you send a question direct to me, I won't call your name out while I'm running through this question. But if anybody has any questions, I would love to hear them, and we can put them to Petra and ask some questions. I'd say I have a question, which is, I really resonated with what you were saying about sharing parts of your story that maybe feel uncomfortable. So like, I'm hard of hearing, and it's something that whenever I do talk about, it really does resonate with people, and I get loads of questions and like support whenever I talk about it. But how do you balance feeling uncomfortable sharing it and talking about it, and actually move more into, actually this is a really big part of who I am? For me, I'm still at the point where it feels really uncomfortable to talk about.
It's a really good question and very common question. If you have to do the first, like the work, okay, the story and what you want to share. But for me, I think when you realize that you can create an impact if you share your story, that kind of you overcome your fear of that. It was the same with cancer. Like, I was afraid at the beginning, it was very personal for me, and very rough journey. And then I realized if I keep sharing it, there might be people, they resonate with the struggle, or they might be going through something else or similar, or they kind of close friends or relatives, and it will help. So if you tweak it to this, like, okay, I can help someone, I can create the impact with my story and show that I overcome the obstacles, I kind of turn the negative into the positive in a way. I think that helps to look at it from the other way. I think that's part of the personal brand. It's a process.
I love that. And I do feel like, I guess there is elements that will always be uncomfortable. I feel like talking about ourselves, especially as British people, like talking about ourselves in that way sometimes doesn't feel comfortable, but actually other people need to hear it. So I feel like I needed that little bit of push today. Amazing. We actually have no questions in the chat. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit stop recording.